Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 TV finales of the century so far.
Why can't we just quickly shake hands, pretend we liked each other, and get out of here?
I'm all for that.
For this list, we'll be looking at shows that went out on the highest notes possible in the 21st century. While a few of these shows technically premiered in the 90s, all that matters is that they ended the following century. Since we're talking about endings, spoilers are unavoidable. What's your favorite TV finale? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Goodnight Seattle, Frasier. Between Roz's promotion, Martin's wedding, and Niles and Daphne becoming parents, Goodnight Seattle gave each supporting player a touching send-off. What about Frasier himself, though? Including his time on Cheers, we followed Frasier for 20 years. After all that time, what can you possibly say? Well, having such a way with words, Frasier sums it up in his farewell speech with a little help from Alfred, Lord Tennyson.
And I think what it says is that while it's tempting to play it safe, the more we're willing to risk, the more alive we are. In the end, what we regret most are the chances we never took.
Frasier's commentary on taking risks is only given more weight when we get to the final scene, which subtly reveals that he chose love over the safer road. It may not be the last we see of Frasier with a Paramount Plus revival being ordered, but Goodnight Seattle will always be a sentimental ending to this chapter.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chicago. For your safety, the captain is asking you remain seated.
Wish me luck.
Number 19, Brave New World, Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World taught us much about the inevitability of change. After 7 years, though, we couldn't imagine Friday nights without Corey, Topanga, and the gang. The finale softens the blow with plenty of laughs, especially Eric's doll and Corey's meta title drop.
Boy Meets World. Now I get it.
However, the time to say goodbye eventually arrives. The final scene goes back to where it started with the original central characters. One by one, the 4 kids we watched mature into adults bid farewell to the teacher who guided them through it all. The final moments propel Brave New World from a solid finale to one of the greats. Not every TGIF sitcom ended with a true sense of finality, but Mr. Feeney's closing remark continues to pull at our heartstrings.
I love you all. Class dismissed.
Number 18, The Wrath of the Lamb, Hannibal. Throughout its tragically short run, Hannibal had a way of topping itself with each season finale. Wrath of the Lamb was every bit as bloody, intense, and atmospheric as we could have hoped for, complete with a pulse-pounding confrontation between Lecter and Graham.
This is all I ever wanted for you, Will. For both of us.
From the beginning, these two kept us guessing in different ways. We always knew that the unhinged Lecter would go out a monster, but Graham emerged as an unlikely wild card. By the conclusion, it's debatable if Graham is closer to a hero or villain. All we know is that he can't live with or without Lecter, leading to a beautifully ambiguous ending. Of course, if season 4 ever got the green light, we'd gladly gather around the dinner table for another meal. Number 17, Graduation, Malcolm in the Middle. Taking a cynical approach to the coming-of-age sitcom, Malcolm in the Middle endowed a sad but true lesson. Life is unfair. Just because you're the smartest person in the room doesn't mean things will ever come easy. In many cases, though, those who suffer the most go on to change the world. It's not the road that Malcolm would have chosen, but it's the one that might lead him to the presidency someday.
This is unbelievable. You actually expect me to be president. No, I'm sorry. You expect me to be one of the greatest presidents in the history of the United States.
You look me in the eye and you tell me you can't do it.
Malcolm also finds that even when childhood ends, the bonds of family endure, for better or worse. While maintaining the show's signature edge, Graduation still manages to be a sincere ending with emotional growth for every member of the no last name family. At least we think that's their surname. It's hilariously never said aloud.
And now with the valedictory speech, please welcome Malcolm.
Number 16, and in the end, ER. Of all the shows on this list, ER had the lengthiest run of 15 seasons. During that time, the medical drama saw various ups and downs. Thankfully, the finale wasn't just a high point for the series. It was an Emmy-winning event that recaptured the stimulating sensation we experienced when the show first aired.
You want to be an ER doc? This is the fun part.
Both the pilot and finale sum up a typical day at County General Hospital. A new trial awaits around every corner, and just when things start settling down, matters get more chaotic than ever. Unlike the pilot, though, the ER finale had to deliver on a decade and a half of storytelling. The finale is full of memorable character moments, and even those who don't play a significant role are still felt in spirit.
Dr. Green? Coming?
Number 15, One Last Ride, Parks and Recreation. When Parks and Rec premiered, it seemed like an exaggeration of government incompetence. Not long after the series ended, its portrayal of politics started to feel much closer to the real deal. One Last Ride leaves us with a hopeful reminder, however. No matter how bad things get, there will always be people like Leslie Knope trying to make the world better.
There you have it, sir. Another problem solved by the hard work of dedicated public servants.
Okay, great. Bye.
Yeah, that's about right.
Even a simple gesture like fixing a swing can go a long way. The finale looks to an optimistic future where April and Andy become parents, Leslie and Ben become even stronger as a couple, and virtually everyone has achieved their career goals. The people of Pawnee still struggle to remember Gary, Jerry, Larry, Terry, Barry's name, but we'll never forget this farewell.
They spelled his name wrong on the tombstone.
Close enough.
Number 14, I Say a Little Prayer, Nurse Jackie. Throughout its 7-season run, people often debated whether Nurse Jackie was more of a comedy or a drama. I Say a Little Prayer seems to solidify the show as a tragedy, amounting to an appropriately bleak exit. The finale presents Jackie Payton with an opportunity to turn over a new leaf, leaving All Saints Hospital behind. Alas, old habits die hard, and Jackie ultimately succumbs to her addiction. Jackie's overdose might have resulted in her death, but even if she survived, there's little chance that she'll ever change. And speaking of virtuous cycles, Zoe's final line brings things full circle with Jackie finally hearing the words,
"You're good, Jackie. You're good. You're good."
It's a haunting ending, but given Jackie's story, it's not an unearned one. Number 13, Finale, The Office. Some argue that The Office should have ended when Michael Scott departed from Dunder Mifflin. While that might have been one gratifying way to wrap up the series, it would have deprived us of this equally poignant send-off.
Michael, I can't believe you came. That's what she said.
Although Steve Carell practically steals the show with his brief appearance, Finale is mainly about bidding farewell to Jim, Pan, Dwight, and the rest. It's cleverly executed, with the cast returning to commentate on the documentary they just spent several years filming.
Do you find that your life feels pointless now that nobody's actually filming you anymore?
Yes.
For all the tears, the episode isn't afraid to be a little mean-spirited, most notably pertaining to Creed's fate and Ryan's horrible parenting. At its heart, though, the finale encourages us to find the beauty in ordinary things, be it a tedious office job or a comforting sitcom.
There's a lot of beauty in ordinary things. Isn't that kind of the point?
Number 12, 30, The Wire. This finale's title alludes to a journalistic phrase used to mark the end of a story. It's fitting, seeing how the final season revolved around the media's role in law enforcement. What's more, 30 effectively wraps up several story arcs, most of which we see through a bittersweet closing montage. While it may be the end for this large cast of characters, the issues they've encountered are far from over. If anything, very little has changed. Even when an addict like Bubbles turns his life around, another is inclined to take his place. Scoring an Emmy nomination for writing, the finale remains faithful to the uncompromising realism that David Simon has always been known for, while still providing closure across the board.
Let's go.
Number 11, Chosen, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The Buffy finale took several chances that paid off in rousing fashion. Multiple main characters die, some of which eventually come back, while others aren't as lucky. Sunnydale is obliterated, saying goodbye to one of TV's most iconic small towns. For all the sacrifice, Chosen is also packed with game-changing triumphs. Buffy may be a badass, but she couldn't have saved the world on a regular basis without her fellow Scoobies. In their last stand against the first evil, Buffy receives more support than ever as every potential slayer unlocks the power inside.
From now on, every girl in the world who might be a slayer will be a slayer. Every girl who could have the power will have the power. Can stand up, will stand up.
With a mix of action, tragedy, and pop culture references, Chosen delivered everything we could want from a Buffy finale while leaving the door open for further adventures in the comics.
Yeah, Buffy. What are we gonna do now?
Number 10, Happy Ending, Schitt's Creek. A lot of fans didn't discover Schitt's Creek until later in its run. Given the show's growing popularity, it would have been tempting for Dan Levy and company to keep it going several more years. Instead, Levy decided to go out on top after 6 seasons. Although not everyone was ready to say goodbye to the Rose family, we couldn't have asked for a more satisfying ending. Speaking of being satisfied, David gets 2 happy endings, one with Patrick and another with a masseur.
I've always heard about things like that, but I've never actually gotten one. Did you have to pay extra for that? I didn't pay for a happy ending, I paid for a massage. He gave you a happy ending on our wedding day?
Johnny, Moira, and Alexis also learned that happiness doesn't necessarily come from wealth. It comes from friends, family, and finding the best version of yourself. As far as sitcom finales go, Happy Ending is simply one of the best.
What is it?
Just wanted one last look. Driver, we're ready.
Number 9, The Book of Nora, The Leftovers. When The Leftovers premiered, Carrie Coon's Nora was essentially a supporting player. Nora quickly stole the show with the finale even being named after her. The Book of Nora builds to a riveting monologue detailing what could have happened to the departed. The writing and Coon's delivery paint such a vivid picture that we feel like we're there with Nora.
And then you changed your mind.
No. I didn't change my mind. I went through.
Of course, we never learn if Nora was telling the truth about this alternate reality. Unlike another supernatural series co-created by Damon Lindelof, though, The Leftovers was never about getting concrete answers. It was about dealing with grief and the unexplainable, which the Book of Nora brilliantly conveys. The finale lets the mystery be, and embraces The Leftovers for what it truly was, a love story.
I'm here.
Number 8, Person to Person, Mad Men.
I have a person-to-person call for Peggy Olson from Donald Draper.
This is Peggy Olson, I accept. Where the hell are you?
Don Draper / Dick Whitman spent most of his life trying to figure out who he is. In the episode that finally won John Hamm an overdue Emmy, Don seemingly has an epiphany. Some assume that he left it all behind and became a hippie, but we like to think that Don realized what's been in front of him this whole time. He's an ad man. Don will never be the traditional husband or father we often see in commercials. However, Don knows how to sell that idealized lifestyle. In the end, none of the Mad Men characters are like the people depicted in ads, but they all show some maturity as the 70s usher in a new era of peace, love, war, and Coca-Cola.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves.
Number 7, Start, The Americans. Despite not being especially action-heavy, Start is one of the most intense finales we've ever seen. The whole episode is like watching a bomb defuse with a crucial wire being cut in a parking garage.
We had a job to do. We had a job to do.
With their cover blown, Philip appeals to FBI agent Stan as a friend and neighbor. Being a Soviet spy, though, it's hard to say how sincere Philip's words are. In any case, everyone is forced to be true to themselves in the end. While Philip and Elizabeth have always been loyal to their homeland, Paige is an American and can't follow the same path as her parents. Winning Emmys for writing and Matthew Rhys's captivating performance, Start saw family and country collide in heartbreaking ways.
Feels strange.
What do you think, Neil?
Number 6. Always, Friday Night Lights. Like the season 1 finale, Always once again finds Coach Taylor at the state championship. The difference this time is that the game's outcome doesn't really matter. We don't even see the entire final play that wins the Lions the championship. Even if East Dillon had lost, they still would have played their best, which is what's most important. While football drew us to this series, the game of life kept us coming back. Everyone wins in that respect, with Matt and Julie getting engaged, Tim and Tyra reuniting, and Tammy and Eric settling in Philadelphia. Always also proved victorious at the Emmys, winning for Jason Tatum's teleplay and Kyle Chandler's performance. In reality and fiction, it was a fairy tale ending to a genuine underdog story.
You ready to go home?
Yeah, let's go.
Number 5, the last one, Friends. Being the definitive comfort food show, it's only appropriate that the Friends finale gave fans exactly what they wanted. At the same time, the creators threw several curveballs, with Monica and Chandler becoming parents to 2 children, Gunther making an unexpected confession, and a suspenseful race to the airport that had us holding our breath until the last second.
Oh my God, did she get off the plane? Did she get off the plane?
I got off the plane.
Attracting 52.5 million viewers, the last one remains the century's most watched series finale. Granted, the ratings game has significantly changed with the rise of DVR and streaming. Even with those innovations, few finales have come close to matching the impact of Friends. It was the kind of television event that we honestly rarely see anymore, uniting audiences for a night of laughs, tears, and goodbyes.
Okay, should we get some coffee?
Sure. Where?
Number 4, Made in America, The Sopranos. When we made our list of the top 10 disappointing TV show finales, Made in America was generally seen as the most infamous in HBO history. Much has changed since then. For starters, another HBO finale has claimed that dubious throne. More importantly, many have come to recognize the genius of The Sopranos finale, us included. At the time, everyone dwelled on Tony's cut-to-black exit, writing it off as abrupt and unfulfilling. Rewatching the series, though, David Chase clearly planted seeds for this ending, which is far more thematically satisfying than we initially gave it credit.
Yeah, our line of work, it's always out there. You probably don't even hear it when it happens, right?
The fact that fans are still analyzing the finale over a decade later is a testament to its staying power, solidifying Made in America as one of the best. Number 3, Sozin's Comet, Avatar: The Last Airbender. When we think of epic finales that fire on all cylinders, Sozin's Comet immediately comes to mind. From the animation to the action, this 4-parter is a spectacle in every sense. The epic scope applies to the emotional stakes, with every major character receiving a heartfelt exit. Even several supporting characters we hadn't seen in a while return for a proper goodbye. Virtually no stone is left unturned, showing just how dedicated and passionate these artists were. Apparently, the crew was willing to pay out of their own pockets to guarantee that the finale went above and beyond. Thankfully, Nickelodeon gave them the budget to fulfill their cinematic vision. Thrilling, tear-jerking, and even quite funny at times, Sozin's Comet is one for the ages. Number 2, Everyone's Waiting, 6 Feet Under. Even the most well-received finales are usually bound to have a few cynics. However, we've yet to find someone who wasn't deeply touched by Everyone's Waiting. Going against the show's convention, the episode commences with a birth. It wouldn't be 6 Feet Under without death, though, and the ending unleashes a tidal wave of emotions.
Oh, I want to take a picture of everyone.
Can't take a picture of this, it's already gone.
As Claire drives off to her new life, we're given a glimpse of what the future holds and how each character will go. Some die peacefully, others are taken too soon, and each death hits us hard. A finale can easily destroy a show's legacy, but everyone's waiting has only helped 6 Feet Under to stand the test of time. If we're alive in 2085, we're definitely rewatching this one.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Felina, Breaking Bad. Going into the series finale, Breaking Bad still had so many balls in the air. How could Walt possibly get his money to his family? Would Jesse escape from captivity? What about the ricin? Vince Gilligan managed to wrap up everything in a tidy bow, however. Well, tidy might not be the right word, as Walter White's journey naturally ends in blood and mayhem. Yet it also ends with redemption, reconciliation, and sweet, sweet revenge against Todd.
Mr. White.
We can't imagine Heisenberg's story ending any other way, living up to the increasingly high standards that the series kept finding new ways to surpass. Where so many other shows overstay their welcome or end on a rushed note, Felina knew precisely how to stick the landing.
Special love I had for you.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.